Rewind. We're back again. Again, it's going to be a very short one because the match has already started. We're currently on round 1, but it's going to be Yakuza and Global Breakout. So, formerly the two best teams in due process. Now you could definitely argue both of those, but let's get straight into the game, fellow.
Yeah, I'm actually spectating up the game just now, loading in a couple of moments here. For the lineup, it is Argo, Ikazo, Render, Zigalo, actually, and then the fifth
Mm-hmm.
one is Sachi, I believe. That's the one person who I did not get to mention off just yet. If not, then
Yep.
Dalton Rainbow Six, as I normally call him. But that is the lineup there for GB. And we just saw YY's roster a little while ago. So if you watched the last matchup and had your fun spamming funny copy pastas about Josh, then you probably know YY's roster as well.
Yeah, you probably do. So, who is missing on Global Breakout? They're playing with Render, who's a sub, and
Domsy.
Domsy. Yeah, no, but Domsy got replaced by Zigalo. Domsy retired. He won the major. He said,
Yeah.
I'm out. Peace out. Zigalo's his official replacement. He's the starter for GB. He's here to stay. He's gonna be playing each and every week. And he is a gamer, I should tell you. He played professional slash semi-professional Rainbow Six, and now he's here to wreak havoc in due process. But who is Render subbing for? We're still missing someone from Global Breakout.
Mm, don't know. Can't quite put my
It's a
finger on it.
very important player.
Oh yeah, Plebdo.
Mm-hmm. Which could be very
It means
devastating for
EK
GB,
Mop.
if I'm honest. That
Yep.
does mean EK Mob. Even Argo Mob, like, yeah, obviously EK is on it right now. But we have seen Argo pick up the mop a few times, especially before Pleb got put back on the mop. Argo had it in just a few rounds, and he was also pretty good with it. But the lack of frag power with Plepto being missing, I think, could cause some problems for Global Breakout. On the other side, we have Yakuza, like you said, Chrome Trigger, Ghetto, Jet, Flogel, and Photon. Now, we've already seen them play just a few short minutes ago. They lost 7-4, if I'm not mistaken, to Bingus, which was a little bit surprising. I thought it'd be a closer match with both teams put on a good fight, so you can't really fault them for that. Back into the round at hand, though, it's going to be Factory played up first, and when we haven't actually dove deep into it, let's just get straight into the action. It's going to be a boiler push coming out from at least a few members of GB as Chrome just pushes through the bar. There's 3 members of GB holding it, though, which means there's only 2, Ikazo and Sachi to be specific, to fend off the server farm breach that is just about to come. The flashes are being thrown out. The Clacker's probably going to get dropped out the doors, and Ikazo start getting pushed. Render gets the first one, but immediately fragged by Fogel, and Argo finds one of his own.
Well, things on even footing here. Photon trying to trench their way outside of server farm as the lights have already been hit. Argo manages to find one on towards Flogel. The man advantage now back in the favor of the defense here. Still about a minute to possibly redeem that, though, and Jet's still just trying to hold back, leading in towards Boiler Room. The passivity here is not going to be punishable just yet by the attacking side, but if they really don't pick up the pace in these next 20 seconds, this could be a pretty challenging round to actually overcome, especially at this large deficit and not having a lot of HP on really any of their teammates here for YY.
Yeah, on the other hand, though, Zigalo, 50 HP, Argo even lower, Ikazo has taken just a little bit of chip damage there, so they aren't in exactly a great position either, but they do have the man advantage. Argo still running Rapid and uncontested in Boiler first for now. He can swing out and probably find Ghetto or Jet, but they're playing that passive. YY has kind of stolen server from. They're not sure if they want to save, if they want to go for it. They still have a nade, they can save the Clacker, they can save the Saber, and that just may be the play. But no, Ghetto will be the one to push out first, and Photon right behind him. Takes just a little bit of damage and actually takes out Argo. Zigalo now swings, also taken out. Sachi does refrag, but it's still a 1v2, and he's pinched between both of them. He finds the first one, he finds the second one. Maybe, maybe not. He's stuck on bomb. The lights are still out, by the way, so keep that in mind, but the time runs out. And that's all she wrote.
Unfortunately, Ghetto having to try to utilize that grenade to maybe bring somebody down with them, not able to save it for the next round. You hate to see it, but maybe it won't be that big of a concern. What is a concern is that we have a Saber already gone from the attacking side, so it's going to be very challenging to actually outduel that mop, depending on where we actually go for these next couple of rounds. Which, drum roll please, we'll get that in just a couple of seconds. Have to wait for the tactical idea. It's gonna be Kill House, so maybe not that bad for this one, but the round afterwards of C-Store, that's probably where we're going to really see that defender favoritism, especially if EK is able to bring that mop over into the next round.
Absolutely agreed. I was just reading chat and laughing at that. Apparently, Sachi had the stream open in the background. He heard me speak and got really scared for a second. And apparently, I'm a scary man, is what Flogel said. But back to the Amogus kill house. You can see the astronaut man again. And what do you think happens here? Lockers here is an okay-ish.
Did you just live detect there, or did you just like hand off at a?
No, I like detected.
Okay, I thought so. You mentioned kitchen, and that's all I heard out of you.
Yeah. Well, I said kitchen on paper, it's good to take it, but then again, whatever you decide to push, it just wallbang galore coming into kitchen, and you will just have your HP chunked off if the defender's played right. I guess you could pair it up with a reception push. It would be the worst thing in the world, but it makes more sense to kind of breach lockers, go from there. Defenders are aware of it, and they will try and put as much utility there as they can. It's probably going to be Argo holding it with the auto shotgun. We've seen him do this plenty of times. But the nades are also being brought by Yaokuza. You can already see them marked on the map. And while it's not exactly on the barb, they will obviously adjust as the round progresses. Do we see a reception push? Apparently we do. So it says 3 lockers, 2 reception. Which I'm a fan of. The problem is, as soon as you drop a body in reception, the other player is just alone. There's no one to help him out. The help is literally on the other side of the map. And so you gotta keep your people alive, especially on that bottom part of the map.
Yeah, the nice thing though about that reception control is that you're going to be able to once again go for some sort of pincer maneuver through hallway. Just going to be very challenging to do that because there are only 2 bodies stacked up and currently just 1. Apparently, we didn't coordinate who actually wanted to go across into reception, so Flogel will have to late rotate. That could have been a very early pick there for the defense, but unfortunately not. It's the other way around as Sleepy Photon charges in, already has the full auto as Argo is the first one to fall. Thankfully, there will be a barbed wire to prolong that inevitable push, but not for very long as there is a nade. Well-timed. Photon now isolated, but it's only EK with that mop. Sleepy Photon going big here with the shotgun, finally decimated out by Render, but so much damage has already been done. This might not be a recoverable position. Thankfully, we are technically on even footing, and everyone is relatively low in HP. No more super weapons in anybody's pockets, but Render now dies to Ghetto. It's all up to Sachi. Going through wallbang, cannot seem to connect those shots. A line being drawn in by EK to try to help out Dalton in this 1 versus 2 situation. They'll try to go back around and towards backstage here to bring this back into their favor. Sachi finds one, but there's Jet with the swing through hallway. There's no one else left to contest Jet. They'll be able to get that defused down and either bring the mop into the next round or potentially the full auto, depending on how much ammo's left in it.
I mean, absolutely huge from Render there. He somehow brought it back to equal footing, like he so well put it. And can I just point out the dead bodies in reception? That is exactly what I was talking about. As soon as you drop one body, you know you're kind of separated. You have no one to play off of with. Didn't matter for long though, because Render got both, and he just eliminated the whole bottom side of the map push for his team, and that's what really saved GB for as long as they were saved. They still ended up, falling short, but at least they had a fighting chance. Sachi got it down to 1v1, sadly lost that. But none of that would have happened without Render's massive double kill in reception. And it's a very risky play that YY did, and they ended up being punished for it. They did win, but it could have been much cleaner. They could have saved more utility. They could have saved more and better guns. But it is what it is. And we are going on to C store. So let's show this one. It's another huge storefront. We just keep getting these today. And what do you think happens here?
Well, with Jet bringing in the mop for this round, it's actually going to be pretty attacker favored, depending on how many shots are left in that mop, and if we have any or any ammo in that op as well, like I just mentioned. But I'm really concerned about the fact that we saw written down no nades left in the pockets of the attack for YY, so it is going to be
Oh.
rather challenging to deal with any barbed wire that's on the board here for the defense. Honestly, this is going to be a war of attrition here between both GB and YY, just because that they've already committed so much utility in both rounds before this one, except for probably barbed wire, I suppose, that there's really going to be like one main area of like interest. And then that'll
Yeah.
probably be it, despite the fact it is like going to be another 3-2 split for YY so far. Both Freezer and Shed are going to be the main points of entry here for the attack.
It's kind of hard seeing all of that from the top-down perspective or the first perspective rather. But I think there's still 3 barbs and 3 mollies on the side of GB, and it'll bring most of them. Also, a lot of long-range weapons left, and with this storefront, it may actually be beneficial to bring them. You see the Ingmar, you see the 2 long AKs, and then Render hasn't picked his weapon yet, so I assume it's just gonna be a Gruber, just like Sachi. 2 flares brought out just in case we see the power lever pulled. And honestly, you can help but overlook the appeal of storage because it's so close to tellers, and tellers are
Argo will do that with the Ingmar. What an impressive showing once again by Render. He completely denied the office pressure and then just moved around in a storefront and just did God's work on C-Store.
I'm not gonna comment on his performance just yet because I don't want to jinx him, caster scores being a real thing at all.
Of
But
course.
this can be a huge talking point for you and I post this game. So props to Render for the 2 rounds he's just had. Last one he single-handedly brought back, and while they lost it, he put in a lot of work. This one he single-handedly won, to be honest. Most of his team didn't even need to do anything. They could just kick back, sit back, relax, crack open a cold one, and that was it. Photon says ping in chat, and that's a known discussion in the community. It's, sometimes hard playing on Central for the... I think we're playing on Central, right?
Potentially. Yeah,
Yeah.
it does kind of suck because there are a lot of EU boys on the side of YY,
Yeah,
so
but Photon's British,
rough.
so his concerns aren't valid. So,
Here we go again.
here we go again. Just kidding. We love all people, including British people. We just like to give them a hard time because they give us hard time constantly. But we are on Factory once again, and it's the same one that we've seen GB defend round 1. They have defended it pretty successfully, if I remember correctly. Can they attack it as well?
Well, I'm too sure. Damn lag detected. Always getting
I
the
wasn't
best
like
of Matt.
detected. I handed it off.
That was okay. I really thought that was just
Okay.
a lag detected a handoff.
No,
Oh
no.
well. Say for the most part, Doc's a very weird place to try to approach upon, so that's probably why GB just want to try to ignore
Mhm.
it. They have to still deal with all these incredibly long sight lines though. I feel like Boiler is going to be pretty important still for GB. That way they can actually try to apply some pressure early on to office. That way those sight lines aren't going to be as difficult for GB. But the big thing to
Counterpoint.
know. of main pretty early on to also help clear out Doc pretty early. It was just it was a great job overall by GB there, to say the least.
Yeah, we were also extremely close to a team A. It's just Zigalo should have gotten one instead of Argo getting two, and each one would have contributed equally, at least in terms of frags. Like I said, Render the only person to drop Mop and Saber, both in pockets of Global Breakout. Clacker saved as well. Everything is just going great for them utility-wise. Argo even saved a Molly, and I would be very excited if he actually brought it out in the next 2 rounds and somehow used it, maybe even get a kill with it. I feel like
Maybe.
I'd be very happy about that. That is some Argo thing to do. I don't think, even if you pick up a Molly as an attacker, I feel like most attackers just bring flashes, smokes, and nades instead of the Mollies. But if anyone's gonna bring the Molly from GB, it's probably gonna be Argo. That is an Argo thing to do. And Argo does what an Argo does, so maybe never say never. It is Killhouse next, so I would love to see him use it maybe on a late round flank denial or something. When they already have control of side and they just try and keep the defenders out of it. That could definitely be a great use case of the mollies for the attackers, but you need to bring it. You need to trade off another piece of utility for it, and you need to survive with it for that long. So probably risky.
Say, this is one thing I was going to talk about earlier, Boxy. The
Yeah.
wall charge play, very possible on Killhouse. And I know EK loves to go for these wall charge plays.
Yeah.
I am in the exact same mindset that he is. The only problem with this wall charge, though, for example, is trying to deal with all of stage and then also the back of bar. So yeah, it will be changed. It's a double charge play into the back of stage. Much better idea because then you could flash out backstage pretty effectively, clear out that main part of the map, have someone watch for a hall rotate pretty easily. That was a horrible line, my mistake there. Much better. And then also still have plenty of pressure inside of the site itself and also bar. That's a much better idea by the attack. Will they go through with it? Potentially not, as we see the charge moved around, unfortunately. Maybe they'll charge
Yeah.
lockers to clear out
No,
backstage
no, no.
easier and
We're
then
back
rotate
to our
later.
original plan. And
Aw,
I like this more. I
PK.
like this more. Listen up. Listen up. You get control of reception. This is 3-3 situation, and Sachi is also quite low in HP. He didn't drop Clacker anyways, and that could prove detrimental for them. It's getting clacked, but the recharge is just not coming out yet.
Say, well, I think they're just waiting for that
Dropped it
perfect
outside,
moment,
okay.
perhaps. Yeah, it just went and dropped it on out. 50 seconds remain. EK is incredibly low, on a sliver of HP, 4 health to be exact. So even a wall bang by the knack of Photon could just be that final thing, the last bell to toll potentially for Kazo. And looks like Zig is going to be drawing around the map, try to help out Render to maybe move their way in towards backstage. If they're able to eliminate Photon here, this could be a much more favorable round here for Global Breakout. But so far, they've got to pick up the pace, put the pedal to the metal as there's only 20 seconds left. Amali gets tossed very early on, but it might not matter as Render will still not have a lot of time to play with. They'll go for the flash, but they cannot act upon that in the slightest. They get shot in the back, and thankfully, EK is at least able to escape with the Saber, but it's still going to be a round win nonetheless by the defense of YY, as they were just able to hold down the fort effectively enough and completely deny really any shenanigans from happening there by GB.
Yeah, I mean, first off, 25 seconds left. Render, you still have 2 flashes in pocket. What the hell are you doing? Second of all, Kazo's so lucky that he made it out with that saber. Like I said, 4 HP, you sneeze on him and he's dead. The fact that you... Oh, Killhouse Envies says Photon in chat, so I think someone forgot to take off their Envies after winning Factory. I think that's what happened.
Oops.
Oh no. We do a little bit of trolling every now and then here in DPL, apparently. And, well, no lights in C-Store is what Ikazo says, so I guess that's a safe, but still. I don't know. Whatever. I guess they do look tactically cool, and if you look good, if you feel good, you do better. So I respect that one. But there actually are lights. Oh my god, you're a liar, Ikazo, and you made a liar out of me as well. You are dead
Uh,
to me. Anyways, oh no, lights. Says chat. Photon just entertaining us. See what the defenders with the NVGs and the attackers without them actually decide to do. I'm pretty sure they've double blown last round and that they've used one charge on the first round, meaning that they do have to go eco. And this is a very interesting eco to push through, because as soon as you get into shed, first of all, they're gonna hear the first kick or the shotgun, whatever you decide to do. The window, you can only throw things through. You can actually peek through it because it's the small window on the top of the wall. And so as soon as you get into office, you can get swung from office arcade doors. You can get swung from fridges. There's a few objects to just kind of rat around. So taking office is definitely going to be tough for GB. If they take office without losing too much manpower, too much utility, then they can slowly progress either into storefront or more possibly, arcade, storage, go for tellers, maybe even open up the shutters for EK. He still has... Actually, the wall charge got saved, didn't it? No? Yes? The wall charge got saved.
well, it is available to be placed on the icon board, so I would assume
Oh,
so.
okay. Well, then I will stop my rant. I was too focused on the upper part of the map. Somehow they saved it, which I appreciate. They saved the last round, and this opens up so many more possibilities. EK, if you remember, saved the saber as well, and now you can breach this open. Or even a more shallow angle, you can kind of have the saber, watch the fridges rotate, and if you push into office, then that means that you only have to worry about the... Which... Just... Good on GB, I guess. I don't know. I'm speechless.
I think they left it outside, next to that
And
red
then...
door in kitchen, and then when EK, was running outside, he also was able to pick up the wall charge as well. I'm like 90% sure that's what happened. That's the only thing that would make sense, of course. But speaking of
Can
the
we
wall
get
charge, it'll
indications?
detonate on the back of storefront. So already have to worry about that here for Flogel. He is pretty isolated. The freezer gets popped as well. Great smoke. That way you can enter inside the building. Unfortunately, Flogel was still able to get rid of Argo, but there is at least that great equalizer by Render. Chrome will now take Flogel's spot, picks up the big AK, and falls back into office as if nothing ever happened. But the map control already established here by GB has been phenomenal. They still have to worry about key positions like arcade, as you can easily swing onto the bomb, and also tellers through that kill hole as well. But besides that, it's nothing
Oh!
but net so far by GB, and what a phenomenal shot by Render to annihilate that presence inside of Teller, but not for very long, unfortunately.
Jet misses a few critical bullets, but finally connects them onto Ikazo. It's a 3v3 once again. Render 11 HP. Sachi loses most of his as well, but the bomb is being tapped. Jet now has to push. Keep in mind, there is no doors on the tellers, only the slit you can swing through. And that is going to be absolutely huge, but Render is ready for that. He takes out Jet as well. Another kill through the slit for him. He's just been going absolutely nuclear. Zigalo just has to hold Arcade now. He takes a little bit of damage, decides to fall back and reload, but Sachi's there to cover him. They're both low on HP though, and the bomb is being tapped once again. Chrome gets one, immediately refract by Render. That's a 4 for him. Can he get the ace? It's all up to Ghetto on the sled hole, and Ghetto actually gets Zigalo. Render, you need to go now. You have the mop. You can win this shot. You've already gotten 3 kills on that slit hole. Can you make it 4? The bomb is at 50%. You can definitely get it. Play the pistol. That's a smart thing to do there. Tap the bomb. Flash comes out. 70%. Can he get it, fellow? Ghetto needs to go for the swing, and it's extremely risky for him. But no! Ghetto's there, ready to clutch this one out. He shuts Render down, in tracks for his ace. And this is the third 4K for Render, I think?
Man, yeah, that was like the 800th 4K by now by Render, like just going big. There were just so many mob shots in that thing, man. Like I really cannot fathom Render was just having a day at the shooting range essentially, and he really did almost win that. To be
And
honest, I think the coordination there between Sachi and Zig in particular was really odd because Ziggler wanted to fall back to help Sachi out more in maybe
mhm,
baiting the bomb, but he just didn't really coordinate that well enough. So it
yeah.
was actually able to be punished pretty effectively by Yakuza. So close, but no cigar for GB. Things equalized once again 3-3, and now we get a whole new set of toys to play with. The first one of many being Killdome with a very active castle, to say the least. It's in a very, very interesting spot. Has plenty of openings to play off of as well.
True. Wherever you're on this castle, you can, you can test the red doors, you can test pit, and the pit's red doors, you can contest jungle. It's pretty much every part of the map besides base and beach is affected by castle to some extent. By the way, just to wrap around back to previous round and to Render's insane bragging capabilities today, at what point do we assume it's just Plepto playing on Render's account?
I would think not. I talked to Render earlier today, so
I
I doubt
know, but
that.
like
That would
this,
be like the
the
biggest like that'd be the biggest like one up. I don't know.
I mean, the amount of frags that we've seen come out from Render today at crucial times as well is the amount of frags that we usually see come out of Plepto. And I this may and okay, I'm gonna jinx him now. I'm sorry, but I gotta say it. I think so far this has definitely been Render's best official match in DPL ever up to date. And if he can only keep it up, GB, they have kind of halted. They have stopped winning rounds a while back. YY has equalized it, but it's still 3-3, and we're still only halfway through our rounds today. They can still pull it back. If the rest of GB wakes up a little bit and Render keeps being on the killing spree he is right now, this is a surefire win for GB. But Yakuza have also been putting in work. They had Bingus as a quote-unquote warm-up, and while they lost, I think Bingus gave them enough fire to burst through onto GB in this matchup. Again, if you're YY, you're super unlucky. You gotta play both GB and Bingus in the first day, in the first play day, and that's something no one looks forward to. But your other matches will be significantly easier going on. Anyways, the breach comes out. Beach pushed as well by Ikazo. Molly's to Souls just a little bit of time there. And it's going to be Flogel swinging close first.
Interesting position here for Flogo to play with. He does have some natural cover, but he is in a very precarious spot. Could potentially die here if he gets rushed out. Exactly what happens there. 1-for-1 trade now doubled up here by GB. Ghetto now dies inside of Castle, and Chrome will fall instantly afterwards. It is just a bloodbath in the backside of Killdome, leaving Jet in the back of the map near
Oh,
Jungle, and he just gets one-tapped in the dome by
oh.
EK with the Saber. Whew, clean shot landed by the
Jet
main
may not be a
IGL of
sniper.
GB. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
it may not be a
whew.
sniper, but he definitely is a magnet for one. EK just demolishes him, and it's a clean round. It's only Argo dying to Chrome, and even that was almost immediately refragged. Other than that, a near flawless for GB to take the lead. Once again, can they keep it up, though? They have been mostly dominant on defense, from what I know, and the fact that they're on attack again is, I don't know, concerning for them. But if they keep their pace up from this round, if they can, snowball their momentum, I think they have got this game in the bag. Again, I don't want to discount Flogel and company, but GB in the rounds that they have won, they've looked much stronger. Even the rounds where Yakuza have had a, I don't know, 3-4 man advantage early on, somehow, some way, GB has always found a way to make it a 1v1 or 1v2 by the end of the round, which means that they are, even in their losses, way more consistent than the European squad.
Yeah, I mean, also starting off in the second half, pretty good way. I'm really like shocked how easy GB had it to isolate their opponents there in the opening because there were so many angles that could have been contended to actually stop that red door push. And I was almost sure that YY was
Hmm.
expecting that breach to happen. Yet they had Chrome Trigger appear very late into that altercation when we already had Flogel die and then Ghetto get immediately shut up as well. Just odd to see
Yep.
the positions held by YY simply not work, and GB really just capitalizing off of having the better aggression there. Maybe we'll try to remedy that inside of Bank, but I mean, if there's any set to be incredibly aggressive on, Bank has got to be one of it because time management when playing on Bank is honestly make or break for most attackers, especially because of the button pressure and then also Vault as well.
Okay, here's the real question. Do we see any wall chart shenanigans coming out from Global Breakout? You've mentioned it before, and everyone that watches the due process, anyone that follows DPL is what I was trying to say. Everyone knows that GB just goes for these
Yep.
Lamicki wall charge plays, and that is exactly what we're gonna see because they always end up working, even if they seem silly in theory. But no, it may be a double blow. I think they're debating it. Look at this. So they're dead set on having a door charge on entrance, and then they're debating either having the second one to push out hallway or to breach from lobby. Personally, I am more a fan of doing this one just straight up from entrance, but that does mean that you will need to also clear out both tellers and then the backside of
Yeah.
hallway if you decide to go for that. But it provides you with a very quick rotate on the other hand, and actually given that you can rotate through the tellers, I think you just open both. I think that actually ends up working better. I have mistaken the teller doors for just another slit that you can swing through, but no, it's actually a door, which means I'm not sure which one I'd go for.
I would honestly prefer this door being opened up
Hmm.
because you either have to run into lobby, which is already being opened up, or you have to fall back like this, and theoretically someone should be right here, and then you can still hit button as well. Only problem with that is you have to probably deal with this swing and also that swing as well. They want to just put all their eggs into one basket because they're afraid that their second basket might just be a little too weak. So
Yeah.
lobby's going to be the main point here of entry for the attack of GB, and instantly
Okay.
EK just finds a brilliant shot on a jet. Did he wall bang that? I
Yep.
am wow. Okay,
Goodbye.
EK.
Goodbye.
Man's just going crazy with it. Argo finds one as well as he runs through the revolving doorway. Render opens up the kill feed 2 instead of Teller just waltzing through that doorway you talked about earlier. The switch has now been hit and no one's playing inside a vault. It'll have to be a retake game done by the defense. At least one is able to be isolated
Because
by
I just
Sleepy
win.
Photon, but that is going to be it on that round. Oh my god. What a
Mm,
what a round. Just a
yeah.
roller coaster to a
So
roller coaster, a series of unfortunate events there for YY, but oh my god, GB, go off, Kings.
yeah, I thought about the button a little more. I think the reason they wanted to blow is because you can then press the button without having to expose yourself to loans and to
Oh yeah,
accounting
that
doors. You can just press the button, then go away,
yeah.
and then also holding the flank is much easier because if you've actually cleared out all of this, so Teller and back hallway, that means that you can only have one person in lobby, maybe even EK on the Saber. Just hold a long angle. You can have all the crosses in the world, and the flank holding is so much easier there. So I think that could also be one of the bigger points and why they have done that. Not being exposed from hallway and also holding the flank should they need to, but they didn't need to hold flank. Ikazo demolished Jet. He got another one onto Photon. Argo sprinted in, Render sprinted in. It's just kills coming out from all directions on Global Breakout. And honestly, you can say anyone is having a bad game. Zigolo has been a little quiet, and from what I've seen from him, I know he can do way better than he currently has been, but this is his first official DPL match, and he is playing on arguably the best team in the league. So, obviously the pressure on him is immense at the moment, and maybe not having the best game of his life is understandable. What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's kind of like a feeler game, I suppose, for Zig. I'm not really that worried, or Luno, as he has been
Absolutely.
opting to go for as well. If you think about it, kind of like Bolo as well, when he started out playing for TSM
Mhm.
professionally, he was definitely more of like an odd flex kind of player, and now he's kind of blossomed into something much more special. So I think we'll get to see the exact same treat here
If
for Zigalo at
If
some
we're
point.
referring to Zigalo as due process Bolo, I'm all for it. And by the way, not even for Zigalo, not even for him, you can say he's having a bad game. He's just not standing out as much as I may have predicted he would. But he's not doing bad by any means. Looking at his damage right now, I know you can't see it, but he's still at 700 damage, which is just below Argo and above Ikazo and Sachi. Keep in mind, Ikazo has been on those snipers for literally the entire game, so he is putting in work, even if it's mostly off-screen. 1 and 2 on entry as well, and 75 cast. So I think he's just been one of those silent players in the background who do their job, but don't go for any of those flashy plays. I think that is how it's easily explainable, looking at his stats at least.
Well, moving into factory now. One thing I normally like to opt for is just opening up like this door, like a dock, for example, then rushing for lights. That's not like a bad idea. You just need some smokes to cover your six. That way you don't get like shot from an office. Or you can just have someone play over on that green door because it's not red. So it wouldn't be that difficult to actually enter there as long as you have a nade for that set of barbed wire that's going to be placed. But from the
Mhm.
looks of it, it might just be a full commit into green, which I don't really hate. It's just Doc is going to take a bit longer to clear out, but it's still not going to be the end of the world. What could be the end of the world is potentially Chrome Trigger, who could really play in some ratty positions with that full auto. He might opt to actually hide underneath these stairs he's currently prowling about. If that
Oh.
does happen, that could honestly be just completely devastating for the GB side.
Absolutely. Molly in hand as well. He's just ready for it in case he would need to throw it. By the way, can I just point out how much I hate green doors on office? That is the worst thing in the world. That's arguably worse than Donut Factory. That's how bad it is. Anyways, GB will just funnel into office. They're all taking damage, and no one has actually gotten any kills, but Chrome will be the first one to get Argo. Photon follows it up with a kill onto Render, and it's all fun and a powerful global breakout. Chrome is flashed now, but it doesn't matter. Ziglo gets one. Jet and Ghetto finish it off. It's all up to Ziglo, though, to clutch it up. He gets one taken out by Jet in a second refrag, and such a fast round for Yakuza to almost equalize it out once again. It's 4-5. They just need one more round. On the flip side, GB, if they get at least one more round, they bring it to 6, meaning that they can only tie or win. But after this game, if I'm GB, my momentum has definitely been dampened, if not fully stopped. And I don't know what went wrong there, but they just kind of funneled an office. I think they
Yeah,
weren't
that is
clear on who should be looking at what. I think that was the problem.
that no, the funnel as well was a major issue. They couldn't deal with stairs at all because they were just so entranced by just getting office control itself.
Mm-hmm.
So they really didn't have anywhere to leave to vacate the premises. But that's okay. It was a full eco round, so it's not really that big of a deal, I guess. But that was also like the last round in play, too. But hey, they're on the defense now. And they're most likely expecting the exact same play that they implemented, and that's it. That
Mm-hmm.
is exactly what YY is opting to go for, charging open that back red door, trying to get instant castle pressure established,
Yeah.
possibly. But once again, you've got to deal with like this sight line, castle itself, maybe someone ratting here potentially. There is some small cover you could hold like here when they start flashing out. You just fall back into that green doorway. That's not a bad idea either.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's gonna be like a very high risk, high reward for YY, and I think that's why they're also opting to go for a couple of smokes as well to deny some of those sight lines to have an easier time clearing out specifically just this portion of the map as well when they enter through red.
Yeah, I think, and I could be completely wrong here, but my thinking here for why everyone likes to go for these left-right doors is that you can just kind of blow them and then sprint onto castle, or under castle rather. And once the castle is a vantage point, it's elevated up, so if you're directly under the windows, people cannot see. So I think that's the play primarily. It's just let's get to castle as quick as possible so that we aren't getting shot from. Because if you go base, you give the castle players so many long angles onto you that you can just hold. Same with pit. It's just pretty much uncontestable there unless you somehow win all of your ones, and that's definitely a hard thing to do as an attacker. Luckily, though, for Yakuza, Jed is on the Saber. He has the Saber, and he can put it to work. Ikazo and company didn't elect to bring them up, which may just be a deterrent in this round, though.
Oh no, look at Argo. Look at this man. Look at his positioning. He's got the full auto. He's right outside of red door. If they do not instantly flash this man, he is going to try to go for a run up potentially. They are giving Argo plenty of distance though, so I think he'll wait for the first move to be made by YY. I believe a flash is getting ready to be prepped out here by Chrome Trigger, so it'll most likely be the backup of Render and EK up near the top of Castle to
Oh
have this play actually work
no!
out. Argo may find one, but there is the quick retaliation by Chrome Trigger. So that part of the map is now in their back pocket. EK trying to stall for his best against this green door push, but now they have to worry about the castle
Oh my!
drawbridge as well. But Render and EK win their 1v1s. Ziglo could potentially find that refrag, but they're still fully binded. Swings on out. Photon finally drops dead. And it's only Jet inside of Beach. All of his teammates falling across the ways on the exact opposite side of the map, wondering what the hell just happened to everybody against GB, as it's still 1 versus 3. Now, don't get me wrong, if Jet theoretically lands all headshots against everyone but Render, he can just one-tap everybody, but There's definitely a lot to ask for Jet with all of this pressure surmounting. 50 seconds left to try to stave off match point and technically series point as well, because it is only that best of one, and not having any proper information to work off of except the fact that Ziggler is probably inside of castle and maybe one is prowling about near pit. Definitely a lot to ask for your main sniper player.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest question that you need to ask yourself when you are on Yakuza right now, especially Jet, is do I want to save the sniper here and give GB at least the guaranteed tie possible win and use the sniper in the subsequent rounds to maybe try and tie it up, or do I just try clutching it up, make it a 5-5, and possibly, or probably lose the Saber in the process? Looks like it's going to be the former, though, as he's just going to chill on beach for any potential push. He's just kind of looking down, probably talking to his team, you know, these last 30 seconds where Jet was alone on beach. Definitely proved invaluable in terms of communications. They just kind of spoke it over. They're like, guys, what the hell is happening? And hopefully they managed to figure it out, because it's 6 for Global Breakout. That is match and series point. Again, it's just best of one. So let me remind you, because I assume you're also used to watching the majors. Phil and I have only been doing best of threes in due process up until today. It's definitely new for us. It's a lot shorter and sweeter. But GB can only win or tie this up. And now it's all up to Yakuza to win the next 2 rounds to not go home with an 0-2 record.
Yep, pretty tall hill to climb up, I suppose, and not just tumble down for YY. Say this was a very attacker dominating round though for GB when they were approaching upon it. I don't know if it will be the exact same story for YY. Thankfully they do have that saber, so it might not be too difficult to gather a lot of longer sight lines, maybe
Mm-hmm.
try to actually bout with the player instead of Teller rather than having it smoked off, but I'd still prefer to have a smoke grenade just tossed out here in Teller and force some sort of a make or break play or a fallback, one or the other. Um, I don't know how I really feel about entrance though, to be honest. Like you kind of have to go through entrance essentially,
Maybe
but
not.
yeah, I don't
So
really not really too
listen,
sure about what they want.
listen to my thinking. If you are Yakuza, you have seen, again, you're placed in a very huge predicament, because if you have seen Factory, you saw that green funnel is definitely not the play. If you just funnel into office, you will die. There is no question. You need at least 1 charge, which means Yakuza can double blow if they want to have at least 1 charge for Factory. But if they only use 1 charge here, they'll also be at a disadvantage that GB didn't have. And if they lose this round, it doesn't matter, because they will not even play Factory. So again, it's do we play like we're gonna win this and actually be able to play Factory, or do we just pull all the stops right now and then deal with Factory as we get to it? Either way, though, they're between rock and a hard place. And what do you think they go for, fellow?
So yeah, I really am not a big fan of entrance here unless you go for that double charge play. It looks like we'll have maybe like a green play in through manager, and then we have the wall charge into accounting so they can go through both this screen door, and also the wall they've opened up now. Not like a bad idea. Or either that or they double charge like you mentioned potentially, but there is no door charge in place. So I guess going through managers while charging through this to get button, and then fall back to go through security and try to go bout inside a vault. But the amount of utility committed here by GB is a large quantity, and that might actually allow them to hold accounting for a very long time to stop that button from being pressed.
Speaking of a lot of utility, it's 5 mollies involved, 4 on them, and then Argos has 1 in front of him. Actually, yeah, 1 and a smoke, even 2 and a smoke. They have all the mollies in there, so that's 2 in pocket of each, and then 2 on the floor. That's 6 mollies and a smoke they have involved. Auto shotty as well. No barb to play off of on those doors, but there is 1 in security. And speaking of security, right on the other side of the security wall, most of Yakuza is as they slowly make their way into security, but they need to start pushing. I don't know why they're all funneling in there. I'm not gonna lie to you. I guess they're just waiting for the wall charge play. That is exactly what happens, but Fogel's now contesting both Ziggler and Dikazo. The mollies are already coming out, and the barb has been extinguished, but will that be enough? Argo will need to go for the swings. Jed just pushes through the molly, but Argo's full flashed. Can he get him still? Yes, Jed will be the one to fall, but it's by hands of Render. Ghetto is now also in a predicament. Will he push, or will he get pushed from accounting? Argo just swinging, but Krone gets one of his own. He is playing with the shotgun, the smoke. Finally deployed Chrome with a second one, and it's all falling apart for GB. 30 seconds left, and there's only one molly for both of them to use. Render now needs to start throwing. It's a AK and an auto shotty. Try and clutch this one out at 25 seconds left, fellow. But Argo's full flash. Photon gets another one. It's all up to Render. Can he get it? He gets the first one, but will that be enough? Molly helped him out massively. He got one with this.
Oh, he's gonna go for the swing, and he gets it done. There it is, 7-4.
What the hell was
Render
that? My words were escaping me there at the end. I was running out of words and mental capacity. And what? Man,
Happens.
I have so many questions and so little answers have been given by both teams. But it is a 7-4, 7-4. First, Yakuza lost to Bingus 7-4, and then they've lost to Global Breakout 7-4, which means they go into Playday 2, which will be next Saturday, by the way, same time, with an 0-2 record. Not the best start, but like you said, they have gotten their hardest matches out of the way at least.
Yeah, so I think there's plenty of time for them to look over the VOD and fix the mistakes that were made tonight. Or, yeah, tonight for EU, but it's still kind of in the mid-afternoon, evening-ish for NA. But with all that being said, we will end out the stream as that was the last best of one of the day today. Big shouts to Narwhals, Akazo, Roach, and then also Gundam up inside of Prod and also Observation, myself, and Boxy as well running some of the casts. Also, Echo and Melvin were here earlier in the day, so big ups to them too. With all that being said, we hope you all have a great rest of your day and to see you all again tomorrow for some more DPL action.